more than men. So when women talk, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, a little overwhelming, but that's just the way we are. So people grace, definitely open up, communicate, because sometimes we tend to be people pleasers. Look at how you guys, thank you for the likes. Um, but this seriously is going to be life changing if you can take the time to take accountability for certain things that you did wrong. Also, when somebody's sharing, this is what hurt my feelings, that defending yourself is going to be difficult, okay? Because if you're focused on defending yourself, you're not going to be focused on what they're saying. So if I say I'm hurt, you didn't call Friday night, and you give me a bunch of reasons, even if they're legitimate, like that would cause a person to feel dismissed, unheard. So you focus on the, I'm sorry I wasn't able to call, and kind of, I'll call you tomorrow morning. Give them some reassurance. Little things like that can go a long way. And I am here. So communication is key. Communication is everything. And there's going to be times that it's going to be difficult to share certain things. You might fear that you're going to lose the person. But if you lose the person over being honest, then it's not the right person anyways. And that is a very difficult lesson to learn. So sometimes we want to, please the person. So we might hide something. And I was thinking about this. I didn't know exactly how to caption it. I was going to think of a title. I was thinking about, I don't remember how I got onto like my mind thinking about catching the bouquet. I've caught so many bouquets in my life. And so it just goes down this whole little rabbit hole of thoughts. And I went to a wedding where I caught the bouquet. And I remember the lady, the bride, and she had said, I asked her, I said, well, didn't he say that he wouldn't marry you if you are smoking cigarettes? And she's like, yeah. And I said, well, what's going on with that? And she said, well, I told him I would quit. I would quit as soon as we get married. And so before even the end of her wedding, she was hiding, lighting up a cigarette. And so I'm not judging on whether you should or shouldn't smoke, but the fact that she was trying to please him, she wasn't necessarily, there's some addiction that goes on with that, but she was trying to appease him, but he laid down his boundary. I don't want to marry a smoker. And she lied, and she didn't even try. She might have tried for an hour, but now he's stuck in this, and they did end up getting divorced. It was a while later, but honesty, and sometimes you're afraid of it. So either you're willing to do something that can fit your realm of a healthy relationship too, but too often, it can go both ways. It's, like she was lying to him. Sometimes guys lie, sometimes girls lie. And everybody just wants to be loved, liked. They don't want to be judged, and they don't listen. They adapt the situation to their needs. So she didn't care about his needs, and it kind of goes two ways, but which is, and this is where I go, should he care about her needs, or should she care about his in these kind of situations? What's a healthier situation? The healthier situation would be for her to quit. It's also more financially better, and on and on. So Jackie and Minnie and Sparky, a lot of people. Jean is here, Steven, and Vinray? Is that how I say? Let me join your TikTok life. So what do you mean by that? Let me join your TikTok life. I am a TikToker now. Yes. Trying to reconnect. Yeah, I just got a new house out on the lake, and it's giving me the hardest time with just trying to reconnect on one of the platforms. But what do you guys think? Do you like the light on or off? You gotta tell me which is better. Let it adjust. And I don't know what's going on. Due to poor wireless connection. I'll just reconnect. So frustrating. I don't know if it's the phone or the Wi-Fi. Do I want to see your face? I don't know. I can kind of see your profile a little bit. I'm looking for a house, but the prices are insane. I got so lucky on my house for having how much lakefront I have. And that's the other thing too. Another thing to learn is, dang it. No, I don't really want to post that one. Um, is sometimes, our blessings come later than we thought. I could have gotten a house earlier. I was kind of in a rush, and I'm glad that I ended up waiting. Sometimes our bigger blessings come by waiting, and that's kind of hard sometimes to hold on to that. But Jeffrey is here. I'm not Jian. Jian. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So hopefully this connects. But yeah, today was a good day. We had that heat advisory, closed one of the schools, and we all survived. Had a beautiful storm. Do you guys like storms? Nobody told me. Do you like the lights on or off? Got my little. That looks better in the dark though. And Jeffrey, I like the way you spell your name, Jeffrey. I do own a boat. Can I tell you my boat story? So I have 2 canoes, a rowboat, a blow-up boat, a paddle boat, and a friend of mine. You like it up? Okay, cool. So a friend of mine had a friend who, girlfriend, wife, whatever, had a boat, and they were moving. So they had to get rid of it. And they didn't have storage at their new house. So he brought over a speedboat. And I do need a new battery with it and like a new starter. But I have a boat in my driveway that will be ready to go. I was going to do, I've been sick kind of like the last 3-4 weeks. But we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to do it. Definitely needs some cleaning. It was definitely outside in storage. So I got to get rid of the leaves and power wash it and redo a little bit of the upholstery, but I got a speedboat for free. I did have to register it. I don't know. It's like 60 to 40 bucks by the time it was all done. Maybe 100. I don't remember because I got my driver's license at the same time. But yes, I want to know something. Just Barry, tell me. I want to know something. And like I said, we can open the conversation to what you would like. But I did have that birthday party with a friend of mine. And if you've dealt with a narcissist, a lot of times they like to destroy birthdays. And it's just, where they want to be all about themselves. And Just Barry says, I like girls my age. And that's good. That is good. They do some studies on that, and, large age groups usually have a high divorce rate. There's, some generational differences. And, as a high school teacher, you can think about it where they're all like skibbity tucking and you're like, what? So even just the connection and the words and all that. But I got real lucky on that. So, you can have friends of all ages, but as far as like a lifelong commitment for like a husband or wife, things like that, you got to think too about the differences on retirement, and there could be resentment, or one partner might have to take care of somebody for like 20-30 years and they're not growing old together. It's one person taking care of the other, and also children, little things like that, fertility. But you like beautiful women like me. Thank you so much. What grade do I teach? I teach high school, 9th through 12th grade, English as a second language. So all my students are foreign speaking, a lot of different languages. So it's the coolest job I've ever had. And I've taught everything from pre-K 3 all the way up through college level criminal law, criminal justice, and a lot of artsy fartsy. What kind of art do you like? Do I want somebody to take care of me? To be honest, that'd be nice. I'm not going to lie. That would be nice. Money Shot says, I wish I was in high school and you as my teacher. Oh, you're sweet. Thank you, Money Shot. And it is interesting because you got to kind of talk in code. Classic art. I was an art teacher 2 years ago. I've taught like everything. Pretty much. Psychology, sociology, women's studies, art, gym. I have 5 endorsements. So health, all that kind of stuff. But Classic art. And Vestal, you are here. Yes, I was scrambling to log in. And I am on a little earlier because of Vestal from YouTube. So thank you for that request. Good to have you here. Tell me how your day was. And Vestal Numbre, what does that mean? Does that mean number in Vestal? Vestal means, and I see certain words. So I teach English as a second language. I am teaching English, but they don't know English. So I have to teach like academic language, such as, division and graphs and, all the different things, different body parts and every subject. So yeah, I thought I'd get away with not having to teach math, and if they need tutor support, we do that. Just Barry says, do you want, I will take care of you. Well, I'm healthy now. I'm sure, would you take care of me if anything happened? But I don't know if it's the best idea though, if you're only 20, but you make up words. I do too. And you changed over to YouTube. Oh, Joseph. Okay, perfect. Do you normally look like on TikTok, or which is better for you? Does the YouTube seem better? And Daryl Hannah, my uncle knows, somewhat knows her. He's a movie producer, and he's like, "You look like Daryl Hannah when you turn this way." So there you go. And if you guys see me on Facebook, Cynthia Schiller, Schiller. I have my mermaid outfit on, so I wore that this summer. I bought one. Joseph says, I think that some of my comments didn't go through on TikTok. Thank you for telling me that. So Joseph just went over to YouTube. If you, I don't know. Joseph is saying some of his messages didn't get through. So if your messages don't get through, please keep reposting. Sorry about that. YouTube's pretty good about getting the messages through. I just have to have it on live chat. So, but, you said, but you're not the only one I've had that problem with through TikTok. Yeah, there's some problems like my Facebook. I don't know. Something's up with the Facebook and YouTube. I had a lot of people joining in before, but I took a break. I used to go live a lot, and so I had a really good following, and that's why consistency is key. I've been trying to rebuild that, and people will join back in, but interesting. Yeah, so I'm still learning TikTok a little bit. And what do I want to talk about? I usually talk about what religion am I? I'm a Christian, and we started talking about that, trying to give you some honesty, bro. Calling me bro? Hold on. Oh, sorry, Joseph. Nobody. Oh my goodness. So we got a Joseph and a Joe. Is that what's going on? So I did want to talk. I did a video with Kendra Turley. She's a TikTok star. And we just did a podcast on what is missing. And like when you deal with the body and the mind and trying to heal. Oh, no wonder. Nobody's coming into my face because I forgot to hit go live. One of those days. Do you ever talk about your life as a mermaid? Yeah, sometimes, to be honest. But there's a spiritual component to it. There really is. My next birthday, I will be 21, and I do little birthday celebrations. We've had a couple so far where I sing happy birthday to you guys. I got my little special treat for you guys. And I am in Eastern Standard Time. And Haley is here, Emerald, Dennis. Look at all that love you guys are showing me. I appreciate that. And thank you for joining and liking. That helps when you guys hit that like button, show me some love. I did want to check in on Mimi. She was really struggling yesterday, but it's good having everyone. And, there's a lot of lessons to be learned. I was just reading before I logged in about this one teacher who she was really struggling with this one kid. And she was like, to be honest with you, I was kind of praying he'd move away. And then once you start building a relationship and really understanding someone, she was like, I actually missed him over the summer. And Just Barry says, do you want me to Oh, Emerald says love and magic alchemist. That's not, is that what you are for your religion? Yeah, we got to be careful. I was, somebody was talking about the waist beads. Do you guys know anything about waist beads? And, all these little things are like all of the different vibrations and the spiritual thing. And I'd like to know what you guys think about the paranormal and ghosts and demons and angels and religion. Like, I kind of want to go there because, like faith based and the rules in the Bible and all these things, like how little things can really shift how your life turns out. In what way? Um, just any experience you have, how you feel about it. So Emerald says, LOL, some say I am a ghost. Why do they say that? Tell me why. Now, there are narcissists. We talk about narcissist ghosting. Don't ghost people. Don't ghost people. That causes brain damage. Did you realize that? So Just Barry says, I will make you happy. And this is the thing, what exactly is happiness? Happiness isn't somebody just taking care of me, serving me, this and that, to take time to develop a relationship. Joseph says, I like to think I am religious, not overly religious, but I do believe in higher power. And I know a lot of us have that kind of feeling, but do we ever talk about heaven or hell? Do we really believe in that? And Randy is here. Good job. Randy's been so loyal. Because, I had a family member where I was like, well, what do you believe? And they're like, I don't know. And, if it's true, I kind of think it is, but if it's true, it's worth thinking about. And so you're so handsome. There you go. I need help with being religious. Hey, you, Randy. And I'm here to help you with that. Because there are, have you ever been mad at God? And, sometimes people who say that they don't believe in a God and all of a sudden now they're mad at it. Or they, almost get in a car accident and they scream out to God, what causes that, from somebody who doesn't believe. And the faith part, and I talked about trying not to fit your life to your narrative of what is right. And I see that a lot. S says, good to have you, S. I remember you've been struggling to keep no contact, even though I'm blocked. And she still takes my money. How does she take your money? How is she getting access to your money? Because there are safeguards that you can put into place, unless it's like alimony type thing that you're talking about. My brother just posted something on LinkedIn. Yeah, and sometimes too, certain things anger us, and we want to be like, stop taking my money. How is she getting access to your money? Jerry is here. And I say, Heavy, we're just talking about everything. S says, I send a payment transfer with the message, and she takes it. Are you? Why are you sending money? She's not taking. You're giving her money. So, unless, where was the payment to? Was the payment to her? Joseph retracted his message. Probably retyping. Numbers, psychiatrist recommendations. I do one-on-ones. I'm a certified life coach, but definitely it depends. I like to have somebody with like a spiritual background, but I feel if you have dealt with a sociopath, psychopath, narcissist, that you really get somebody who is well versed in narcissistic abuse, because if they're not, they will not understand you, and also have somebody who's really focusing on the solution, not just letting you vent. Venting does help, but there's times that you have to kind of like expose it, get it out there, but then learn how to deal with that. And it can be painful to, start accepting certain things, and you have to go through the grief process. A lot of people don't, They can hold on to grudges. That's why we talked about Dr. Ramani, who was one of the top, if not, she's considered the top uh, expert on narcissism. And she's like, you don't have to forgive everybody. But from the spiritual component, you're damaging your soul by holding grudges. And it doesn't mean you have to like the person, doesn't mean you have to hang out with them, but we're all struggling and there are temptations. There are, I believe, demonic entities that can take hold through the, lust or desire. And that's why you have all those, do not covet, do not this, do not that. God is the one who can change a personality. That is true, but the person has to allow it. We have free will. And do I understand jihadists? Somewhat. And Number says financial matters constrain relationships according to the Bible. And that's so true. And that's why also how they say, don't be in gluttony, don't overdo things, and things in moderation. So psychiatrist recommendations, have somebody who understands you. You might have to go through a few psychiatrists. I don't know where you live. And I see a question. Tell me what you want. I will do it for you. Aw. I don't know. Just all right. Keep showing up to TikTok lives. How's that? Joseph says, but I like to think that if you are a truly good person, it's not a bad thing. But people take advantage of it. And also we have to make sure that we're not like a super empath where we're in a sense, sometimes it's like mild, but we're kind of using other people for our own gratification. Just like if you said you were sick and I'm like, well, I'm going to bring you over some soup. And you're like, I'm really sick. I just want to stay in bed. And you're like, no, come over. And I'll sit with you and I'll talk and I'll clean your kitchen and I'll do that. And it's like, I just needed to rest to where we're not listening to people's boundaries. Now, if somebody's about to die, go help them. But there's times people can be too pushy and they're trying to be helpful. They're trying to be good and kind-hearted. I had a friend, oh my gosh, I owned a store. Let me join your TikTok. You mean live? My TikTok live? I thought you meant life, like as a TikToker. Prayer is important. The choices you make have, I got that heart right there. It blocks off one of the words. I hate it when it does that. But what was I saying? Oh, it was a pretty good point too. I just can't stop thinking about her and ruminating and wondering when things went so wrong. Nothing I give her or do is ever enough. It's always more and more and more. And that's kind of what I'm talking about is when we give too much, that people start taking it and it starts like taking us with it to, like right now, I can give each of you $5. Here's $5. Here's $5. Here's $5. And now I have nothing left. And people don't always give back. So if nobody's going to give back to me, I'm screwed. So invest in the people who are investing back in you. If I give you $5, you give me $5 back. And the next day I give it back to you and you give it back to me. We are never out more than $5. And it's the same with emotions where you give back and forth. But when you start giving and giving and giving, you end up with zero. And that's to your detriment. And you're like, but it was nice. I gave them. But you took away from yourself. So yeah, all the choices we make do have consequences. And David is here and Billy. So thank you guys. Feel free to hit that love button. Let me catch up on your things. I wonder what my flaws are. I'll tell you what, we all have them. I got more messages. Let's see. What do we have? We have a guest. Got a nice little bright light. All right, Just Barry, you better promise me you're going to be nice. I will accept. I'll see what you have to say. And I'll be repeating what you say so my other platforms can hear. And we got Tim, Jerry, Randy. Feel free to join in on the conversation. So Just Barry, what would you like to say? There you are. You're logging in. So, so being a truly good person, doesn't always necessarily mean that, as a Christian, that you find your place in heaven, because there are different little flaws that we have, little things. Maybe you swore, maybe you hurt somebody's feelings. So gotta be careful on that. How's it going, Just Barry? Good. What are you up to? Nothing. And a number says, when people see what is on the Quran, would it scare them? Just Barry, what religion are you? Are you religious at all? Got lots of love going. So Just Barry, why don't we go ahead? This will be easier if you just go ahead and type, but it was good to see you. Thank you for saying hello. But at the end, I'll go live with TikTok so you guys can pop your faces on. Right now, it's kind of a little bit harder, but yeah. Numbers is asking if you're doing okay. So the fantasy guru, but yeah, I'll open up TikTok chat later. So, but as far as I just can't stop thinking or ruminating, that's like a trauma response that lets you know that that relationship was not healthy, that you put more into it than you got back. It's your body letting you know that you're not safe, you weren't safe, you weren't being heard, and wondering things went so wrong. And a lot of times that's because of like the gaslighting or the word salad, and um to where I thought this was a truth. And that's where that cognitive dissonance comes in. So it screws with your mind. And if you notice, all these people who deal with narcissistic abuse, that it's the same stories: the brain fog, the depression, the ruminating, and wondering what went wrong, trying to find answers. Sometimes a lot of us have gotten blindsided, or it was just a simple little, where you're like, just stop, I'm busy right now. And you're like, you just threw our relationship over. And you're like, I'm so sorry, I was having a bad day and I had a migraine and whatever it is. And you're like, that's what you threw our relationship over? And then they seem to move on so quickly. And a lot of times they've already had take some time to get to know the person. And that is extremely important. It does turn into codependency. The narcissist likes to control. So yes, but a lot of times they take a strong person, and sometimes it's highly sensitive. Now, a narcissist, this is what kind of, it's like, sometimes you walk on eggshells. They talk about walking on eggshells with narcissists, but the highly sensitive. So it is okay to feel what you feel. And they're always like, well, the narcissist says you're too sensitive. And it's like, I talk about like the Chinese water torture: drop of water, drop of water. Eventually you have this excruciating headache. Are you a sensitive person because you can't take a drop of water on your head? No, it's the repetitive abuse that you can't take. So there are times that, I had a lady tell me I need to toughen up. And I agree with her. I agree with her. So, sometimes you see all these YouTubers where they're like, you're sensitive, and there's a beauty to the sensitivity. But if you think about like that excruciating headache after Chinese water torture, and you're like, it's okay, you're beautiful as you are. You're like, no, this is not working. To where sometimes you got to toughen up or remove yourself from the abuse to get stronger or to relieve some of the pain. I text you on TikTok. Okay, sounds good. I'll have to check it. Narcissists are not highly sensitive. Some of them are. They're not sensitive to other people, though. You tell them one thing you don't like about them, they can go way off. Two psychiatric diagnoses called highly sensitive and codependency. Is that what you have? And so let me see what you say. Hold on. So yes, you are a very nice looking person. Number says, nope, I am normal. And that's good. That's good. Is your ex or your partner that way? I don't know, are any of us completely normal? But so let me ask you how old you are. Numbers. Can I ask you that? Oh, Jim, thank you. It's a little fluffy and it's a lot more wavy today because of the weather. But thank you. Thank you very much. Do you ever just randomly thinking that we are all gonna one day? Um, and kind of like when you think about like revelations and things like that, but the world is chaotic. I'll say that. How do you feel about it? Run says sneaky links, monkey branching, gaslighting, all combined equals bad news and that brain damage. So that's why people think that you're crazy. So you're 31. Okay. So you've probably learned a little bit through life. Number says, only thing abnormal about me is I am on 3 medications. Okay. So is the medications for your mental health or for something different? Jim says, I still want to play in it all night. Aw. And yeah, there's it's life can be difficult, you know. So Run says narcissists will tell you it happens all the time. People cheat. Yeah, it's kind of like this, like it's just gonna happen. Um and justification of bad behavior, trying to make it seem normal that this is okay. And then you also have to talk about the people who are, and thank you, numbers. People are trying to normalize the bad behavior, and that's why you see so much polyamory or, you know, one night stands or quick little things, adding on partners, just swingers, all those kind of things. Run says they get hurt bad when what they do is done to them. They'll lose it. You're right. And Joseph says, kind of scares me. I'm not afraid to die anymore of what happens after. And I've talked about this. I had a miscarriage and I was 45 minutes from dying. And there was also another time when I got in a bad car accident. But as far as coming close, now I had just had a miscarriage, a baby I wanted, and bleeding out. And, you know, I was worried about my daughter, who was 16 at the time, but it was the weirdest, calmest, like, I'm not afraid to die. I don't want to die because of my daughter. I want to live as long as I can. But to just know peace. And then I talk about when my father passed. I had COVID at the time when he died, so I wasn't able to go to the hospital, but we were lucky enough to have Zoom. So as he's passing away, just the calmness, you know, and he had some spiritual like messages is how he viewed it before he died. And I've told this story before, but it's kind of powerful, where he was always trying to search for answers as far as salvation and, you know, God and all that. He did so much studying about the different Quran and Torah and all that. So he settled on Christianity, but he had this vision before he died of these post-it notes. And there was some that had a question and the answer was clearly stated. Another had the question and you could kind of make it out, kind of made sense. And then there were some questions that you could not get the answer no matter how much you tried. And my dad spent his whole life, like, he became a Christian when I was 8. I'm 54 now, but especially like the last 20, 30 years, he was searching for answers on the Illuminati, on conspiracy theory, September 11th, Sandy Hook, on and on and on, and just trying to get to the truth of everything, and political stuff. And so he finally had this peace that you're not always going to know the answers, and that's okay, because that was something in his heart, needed to know all the answers, and he got that comfort before he died. and the peace he got from having faith. It takes away some of the fear, and um, a lot of peace. Ira, thank you, numbers. I'll try to remember that. Is your name and code? Oh, very cool. I used to love codes. Being in an asylum ruined my sanity beyond repair. So numbers are oh, Jim says I'm on 10 different medications a day. Numbers, philosophy of Greeks come from what? From the Greek? Normalcy. Okay. So numbers, I noticed that you said being in an asylum ruined your sanity beyond repair. And then you also said completely normal. So, you know, tell me about that experience. Why were you put into an asylum? Did you have any diagnoses? And if you guys are uncomfortable sharing, you do not have to share. Just say, I'd rather not. But it's interesting that you said you're normal, but they've also had you in an asylum. And Run says Illuminati is bad. They ain't nice. Few of them are good souls. Their goal is do what you want to be a brick in the wall, basically, as they build toward world control. So they're like, narcissists are good people with a bad flair. So be careful on that Illuminati, sometimes even just that little bad thing. We all have little bad things within us, but that is such a tempting life with, the money and the fame and the power that, are they hiding things? Are they, got to be careful on that. There's good, they're good one in everything. You got to think of, Charles Manson. He probably gave some really nice birthday gifts, Jeffrey Dahmer probably could cook a cake pretty good. Okay, there is good in everyone. I'll agree. But is it safe? Is it enough good? And is it safe? Even if it's 95% safe, what kind is that other 5%? If they just tell me I have cellulite or something, is it that bad compared to, some crazy stuff? And bad ones cook in things like that as well. There you go. I'll catch up on YouTube one sec. I want to know how it ruined your sanity, because I do want to talk about that. They've done studies on people who have been put into asylums just to be warehoused, where they were sane and came out not sane. You use a nickname a lot. Okay. Do I have kids? I do have a grown daughter. Yes, you have bad memories. Freemasons. Yeah, my dad was studying that a lot. 40,000. Bloods and Crips are scary. Gangs are scary. So are cults. And Just Barry, we're going to be appropriate. I'm not here to date, just here to kind of help people. So Number says I am usually a social extrovert. Sell you some hair. There you go. I'll have to make you a Locks of Love hair wig or something. Let me catch up. I got a good one. What do you do if a narcissist is your father? He doesn't remember anything. He denies all wrong. Good question. You're right. That is a very good one, because sometimes, we have to rule out, is his memory due to, drugs or alcohol? Or also, if you guys can relate to this, kind of helps you understand the narcissist a little bit. After you've been through the abuse, you get that brain fog. And the narcissist, they're so self-centered that they can space out. They don't think about it. They have a different way of viewing things. And sometimes, like, they can wholeheartedly mean, I never did that. Because it just don't think about it. If they're like, get your fat ass over here and get in the car, and you're like, quit calling me fat. He's like, I never call you fat. I just took you for football clothes and told you were good playing football. So sometimes it's like the slip of the tongue where they don't really realize it. They can be very hurtful. But other times too, yeah, it's a complete denial and they know exactly what they're doing. That's a really good comment. I need to do more on the narcissistic parents. And I'll catch up TikTok one sec. So only the top powers can protect you. And, there's things that we can do too, because we can go down the wrong path. And it's a lot harder to protect somebody who's going down the wrong path. If I tell you, to stay away from fire and you follow the rules, I can protect you a lot easier than if you run into a burning building and I have to chase after you, risk my life, and, pull you out. But what damage is done too. So even if you're saved or things like that, what damage has been done because you wanted to do things your own way. And I hope you understand my analogy. Firefighters are important. Yes, I am a burn victim. So shout out to all the firefighters. Run says cults, gangs, secret society, it all weaves together. That's true. That's true. And if you think about it, it's all about like power, money, status. And that's why, also some paranoia can start to set in. Sometimes your biggest blessings can also be a curse to where, you get this beautiful mansion and fancy car and gorgeous jewelry. You're kind of a target now too. So that's why, I believe God is like, live the simple life. Don't overindulge, don't show off. I had a friend, her father dealt with, some jewelry, and he purposely tried to hide things by living super urban inner city and drove a really junker car, and it was like full of jewelry. Now he paid for her jewelry, he wasn't shady that way, but he kind of liked to show off, and he didn't show off to everybody, but he showed off to some people, and some people knew how to rob him. So one more statement from YouTube, and I'll switch over. And Facebook, feel free to open it up too for the discussion. Run says you can't dunk. Then you can become a dunker at 6'1" and end up playing ball with well-known professionals. Narcs are crazy. It's delusional. They will call you delusional. Yes, and the thing is like you're like, I've been asking all the right questions. Randy says, future subject to talk about work, stress. When do you know it's time to leave a job you love? Oh, I got a friend going through that right now. Others trying to sabotage your efforts. Amazing how not being happy going to work ruins your day. That is excellent. I need to do that one. I'm going to save for a full video because that goes deep. Are you struggling with that right now, Randy? But and guys, also, if you don't want to discuss certain things, you don't have to answer things. But I'll talk about that a little bit in chat tonight too. Socialize when I want to. These used to be some people I loved socializing with. A friend named Johanna. Is it a friend or a love interest? Don't forget to text me on TikTok. I'll check your messages. Ensure don't quit your job. Yep, we'll fill in later. Okay, cool. So that's the thing, sometimes people either feel trapped. I have a friend who is like, I tried to quit. And this just happened. She's like, I tried to quit and they wouldn't let me. They're not allowed to do that. And, so there are, the way society is, especially if you're single or living by yourself, that, you have to survive. And some people are stuck, or they don't have a car. It's the only job they can walk to. And the stress, I had a friend, her husband quit his job, kind of left the family in a bad situation because he felt like he was going to have a heart attack. And do you stay working when you literally feel you're going to die? And then others trying to sabotage your effort, that Oh, that's a hard one because, there are people that want to get your job, or, maybe they have a beef with you and they just want you out, or they want recognition. So we will talk about that more. And yeah, you'll see that if you start sleeping more or being depressed or more agitated, you got to be careful when you keep going to work in a job that you're unhappy in. It's going to come out in the family life. It's going to really hurt. Timothy Excelsius is guilty. What did he do? Psych ward needs better security. Um, Endure. Sometimes it like my dad, he's like, for my health, I have to retire early. Now his was the pressure, the stress. He was kind of like a perfectionist and very, very hard worker. And it was just too much. He was going through some health issues. He ended up getting a pacemaker, and also had diabetes, and that kind of, you got to be careful how stress throws your sugars off. He ended up losing his leg. And camera. What do you mean camera? Heavenly says, I just got done with an edit. You'll post later. I can't wait. What was it about? Just so you guys know, Heavenly has a channel, and she's my little heart girl. What was your topic on? You do a TikTok dance, or you do a topic? But yeah, Randy, thank you. I love it when you guys give me topics. That way I can customize this channel to what you would like to hear about. I got so many topics. I've already done over like 2,000, 2,500 videos. So Ron says the status is a drug for them. Yeah, they're addicted to that dopamine, and it gets them the attention, and it's starting to fill that hole. But, dopamine wears off. And I edit equestrian girls. Ooh, very cool. What's your favorite type of horse? Neat. And I think that's what you mean, equestrian. So status, money, bragging rights, that's why sometimes people will, like to brag about how many men or women they slept with. Run says perfectionists suffer when they don't take heed to the worldly lie. Driven and hardworking, but used like a battery. Why I shut down, won't work myself to death. And I started doing that, to where there was a time when I was teaching grade level. Now it's a little different with the English as a second language. It was different with gym. It was different with art. But man, when I was teaching grade level, you were teaching or working 16 hours a day every day, and it still wasn't enough. And as you teach for more years, you kind of build up your repertoire of teaching, second grade over and over and over again. But language classes would be interesting, Numbers says. And hobbies that I have are swimming, sewing, skating. I need to do more skating. I'll do some tap when it gets colder. But yeah, don't work yourself to death. I've kind of become a workaholic, and that's not good. I did that when I was in college. I took 31 and 32 credits back to back, going 6 days a week from morning till, 10, 11, didn't get home till like 11 o'clock at night. And, you kind of, I don't know, you lose a little bit you miss out on your life. Ron says I was the easy to deal with kid. Silent, won't raise my hand. And are you still quiet now, or are you extra loud? You might be extra loud. Heavenly says, can you talk about how hard editing and drawing is, but still get stolen by people? Narcissists out there. We don't talk about that enough. And they're promoting it too. Like, if you want to grow your Instagram or YouTube channel, all you got to do is steal somebody else and a lot of people aren't getting credit for their hard work. It's different if we help each other out, or I've done podcasts, but to where the person isn't even on board with it. Like when I did my podcast, I gave a shout out to her channel and she also agreed to it. But yeah, people are just stealing other people's stuff. And, what you are doing takes a lot of talent too. Um, Johnny says, can I interview you for my internet TV network? Regarding what? Heck yeah, you can. Tell me more about it. Johanna was a class friend of yours. Do you still talk? But editing is extremely difficult. I did, some of you know I'm famous in China. Nobody knows me in America. But I did a lot of videos for this Chinese company and we had to edit it. So anywhere from a 1 to a 1.5 minute video took like 5 hours of filming. And sometimes, I don't even know, 8 to 12 hours of editing sometimes, because you got to be so precise and the sound match up and lighting, all that kind of stuff. So, a 1 minute video can be like a couple days work. And for somebody to just steal it and take all the credit. And you see a lot of fake accounts too. You see people posting fake account, not hers. And how do people know that? That's what's confusing to me. How do they know that? But I'll catch up on the text. So I had a feeling you were loud now. I knew it. Won't shut up at times. And that's kind of like an explosion. Like finally I get to say stuff. And it's interesting when you start talking to people, you're like, I know what you were like. I know what you were like as a kid. And sometimes it's the exact opposite, but there's a reason behind it. Hi, Phil. No, hello. Good to have you. Ron says it's kind of side effect trauma, special ed placement, and so forth. Yeah. Maybe it's partially wanting to be seen. I don't know exactly how old you are, but like back in my day, a lot of the special ed were in a different classroom. They were kind of segregated. And maybe they felt unheard. And now they're like, finally, I'm in the world. You guys will hear me. All for government funding. Yep. And the government controls a lot of stuff. Bill, tell me how you're doing. Isolation. Yeah. Isolation, when you're dealing with a narcissist, you start to get isolated. But even people in different, women used to be a little bit more segregated, or different people of different colors or ethnicities or cultures. Isolation, you talk about like the padded cells where people are isolated. It can drive you crazy. So it's a form of abuse. And even when you get up in your own mind can cause abuse to yourself that causes that damage. So Heavenly, good topic. And I'm catching up. Heavenly's, and they get more credit than the original poster. A lot of AI. So that's like a kick in the butt. Number says, I was hoping my former friend was online. Aw, I'm sorry. And Johnny, good to have you here. Can I join your live? I might open that up in a little bit. Not quite yet, though, okay? You can definitely join in on the chat, though. Ron says, I got pulled for telepathy testing. If that is any clue, in elementary school, was it the school pulled you for telepathy? Telepathy is when you can kind of like read other people's minds or project certain thoughts into people. Why did they do that? Were they trying to see if you could control other people's minds? Tell me more about that. That's interesting. What do you guys think? Do you think there's telepathy? Yes. And what'd they find out? Yes. Tell me more about it. Yeah, I stress myself by forcing my brain to think of video ideas. You can get some burnout from that. Just be careful with social media. You go through some burnout sometimes. I do. And you're not good with computers. Sometimes it gets overwhelming. And just, have the mindset that it's going to take some time. Everybody else who has done this, maybe take some classes or study. The more you know about it, the more confidence you'll be having. But try not to stress yourself out too much. use of AI. What was it that? Oh, they have these trucks now that are delivering, um, you know, warehouse stuff. And they're like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when all these trucks and all these robots are going to start doing stuff that, the population is growing for the most part. And what's going to happen when we have less and less jobs to do? So AI sounds cool. Also, I talk about the collective. AI is like the collective of human intelligence or perceptions, and that's how they respond. Like if you're like, well, what should I tell my boyfriend? And they give like all this advice from humans. And as time evolves, like the advice is way different than when my mom was dating to where it is now. Here it's like, fuck them. You didn't do what I said. You pissed me off. You're done. And back in my mom's day, it was like, make sure you don't speak to your husband until he talks to you first, and make sure, this and that. So you can see the evolution of things, and it can get bad. They don't understand it and they fear it. They just know some have it. They've been studying it for a long time. And how do they choose you to study? That is what I want to know. How did they choose you to study for telepathy? Did somebody say they had some thoughts, or did you control something? I'd love to know more about it. And so, yeah, and just realize it takes time. Just do your best and try not to stress about it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. With some of the advice they give you, just do it. Don't stress. Just do it. And, don't sit on the fence, because when you try perfecting it, it might take you, I don't know what's up with the lighting. It might take you forever to get that video out. And, if you waited a month and a half to have a perfect video, you missed out on your daily videos. What is going on? Oh, oh my goodness, guys, I've been online for a while. I love talking to you guys. Ron says, me and only 3 other kids only in school were pulled for it specifically. It's spiritual, also dark and light. Did you go to a religious school? I can't get the audacity to record. I don't know what is wrong. You're just nervous. It's okay. You'll be fine. Just do it, and you get better as you do it, and just have fun with it. Let your true personality shine through. Don't worry about being perfect. And understand too, not everybody's going to be nice, but whatever, don't take things personally, and you can just delete comments that aren't nice, and just be aware. So it was a public school. Snatch, what a name. Sorry, I messed. Oh, yeah. Okay, I will. Mark says, hey, numbers. Look at that worldly people. Numbers, I wear long sleeve shirts and pants because it's comfortable. Is it like a comfort thing? Like a hug kind of thing? Mimi, how are you? How was your day today? Oops, what did I do? How was your day today? Hopefully better. And Number says, I am not nervous. You're not stupid. The thing is don't feel that I don't tell anyone I am stupid. Then why do you tell yourself? Why do you tell yourself? And that's the thing. Like, are we really stupid, or just either not aware or haven't been taught it? And if you can say, well, I don't know how to do geometry, that doesn't mean you're stupid. It means you don't have the building blocks to learn it. A lot of us can learn things. And if you're not good in geometry, you can be brilliant in other things. So don't let society's definition, there's, and I don't know his IQ. I do not know his IQ, but there's an autistic, I believe he's nonverbal, but I want to say it was New York City. He saw New York City, and he did, I think it was a 30-foot sketch of, so the canvas was 30 feet, and he had intricate, teeny tiny, like each building was about this big. And I'm not sure if it was exactly to scale, but it was like he knew which building would where. So he'd have the library here and, all the police departments and Colonial House here and all the streets. And that's just from seeing it. I've seen other work that he's done, and to just go off of memory. So does he know math? I don't know. But that to me is brilliant. I can't do that no matter how much I try. So we all have different strengths and weaknesses, and what matters is not how smart we are. So you're not nervous. Yeah, you got this. Just believe in yourself, because this is what's going to happen is you're going to hold yourself back. So instead of saying, I'm just stupid, just say, I don't know it yet. What can I learn? And my sister is here. Hey, Suku Kamuku, my sister. Yeah, I love the profile picture. I get to see my daddy. I was just talking about dad earlier. So good to have you here. You better come out Saturday. But Caitlin popped in again. I think she's checking on me because I was in the hospital, but I'm doing better. Still tired, but still doing okay. Helen says, want to know what I said to someone for bullying on Roblox? Tell me. And Chuck, be nice. But it's me. I'm on TikTok. I hope that's what you mean. Number says, comfort is my motivation in life. Okay, so when you get in an uncomfortable situation, you want to comfort yourself. I like the sweats. Mimi says, I'm okay. My day was fast and okay. Yeah, sometimes just get through the day. Tomorrow's a new day. Ron says they're okay with that kind of thing. Photographic memory. I have mild photographic memory. It's pretty cool. And yeah, the type that he had was phenomenal. And Ron says, yeah, I know about him. He has one of the gifts. It's fascinating. So Mimi, I'm glad you're doing okay. Good to have you here. Number says, because I got fed that message a lot. And that's the problem is throughout life, we get so sick of hearing it. We are like, okay, can't beat them, join them. Okay, I'm a jerk. I'm this, I'm that. I'm ugly. Don't, believe in your heart and stay true to yourself. And, that's where this self-love comes in. That beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Perception is in the eye of the beholder. And, when we start comparing ourselves to other people, that's when depression sets in. Am I prettier? Am I smarter? Are they prettier? Are they more popular? That's where life starts falling apart. Be thankful for, that you can see like the things that matter, or thankful that you can hear, or how to communicate, even if it's not perfect, like the things that really matter. The color of your hair doesn't matter, what brand of jeans, but no, my other sister, Suku Kamuku, KJ can't come to my swim party. She's staying home. I get it. That's the thing when you live far apart. But I'd like to know what they found. They found nothing. How they test you for telepathy? Did they just go think? I want to see. How did they test you? Susie, what do you think about telepathy? This guy got tested as a telepathic person. A slow connection. Sketch, memory, spatial. Yeah, the spatial. Verbal. There are different IQ tests. That's true. There are. Good point. And when you say you're really hard, are you saying you're really high on the IQ test or just in general? I'm in no rush. Yeah. Oops. Don't be. Oh, I gotta be careful. I keep bumping. I want to relax. I miss Johanna. What's making you think about Johanna today? Heavenly says, want to know what I said? Yes. For bullying a bacon with no Robux on Roblox. I don't know much about Roblox. Mimi says, did I tell you I'm moving schools? You did. Do you know when? Are you doing it after Labor Day? And are you starting to feel a little more comfortable with that or still upset? You're on a sugar high. Okay. And Heavenly, what's that? Look. So I am studying math and Hindu, Christianity, Islam. Do they go together? So your mood is on high. Okay. You don't know her last name. Okay. Did you ever date her? Mimi says, I'm not upset about it. I'm just nervous. And that's normal. You're going to have some nervous feelings. But once you start making friends, and if you can kind of change your perception of this is a new start, I am going to make some friends, even if it takes time. Mimi, you're able to communicate well with me. I know you have like true feelings. Like you're going to make somebody a great friend. You're beautiful. There's a lot of pros to you. So I think it's going to be a good move for you. I honestly do. John says, well, same thing he said yesterday. Some of you guys with your comments. Run says, you guess and they see your percentage. They do a flashcard and guess test. But there is a loophole, so it will need to be scientifically accurate. But you can develop that gift. You can buy the cards. There are YouTube videos about it. Might cheat though. Most cheat though. Most cheat though. So do they hold up like what am I holding? And then you got to say like, brush or tiger or you can't see in candy. Is that the kind where they have it? Because some flashcards have the answers on the other side. They just show you the blank side and they know what it is and see if you guessed. And was it math tests or was it like, what was it? What was on the cards? I'm interested in that. How was my day? My day was good. And we had that heat wave to where they closed in Michigan. They closed schools because of heat. Not my school. Shinto is an anime. Okay. I remember. John, I remember you. So, yep, it's like shapes and you have to guess. And letters. Okay. Huh. Yeah, and that's interesting. So did they say you were telepathic? What's interesting too, though, there's something to like brain waves, and they talk about people being in love, how their hearts will start to synchronize, and women with their menstrual cycles, when they're around each other, they start to synchronize. There was those twins, Tatiana. What was her sister's name? Like Kristen. I can't remember. Tatiana and but they were connected at like kind of here, and they could see through each other's eyes and hear each other's thoughts. Their brains were kind of like connected. It was really interesting. Chakras. I don't know too much about chakras. It's to see if you can lock in and get it correct. Okay. How do you feel about it? What do you believe about telepathy? Do I have any favorite students I'm not supposed to say? They're all really good, though. They are all really good. But some make my life easier. Some make them more difficult. Some you just connect with a little bit more. I treat them all special, but there's some you click with a little bit more. You have to be fair. You have to be aware. Like I'll never deny somebody something and give it to somebody else, so I don't play favorites like that. 52% of books are fiction. Numbers, is that a lie? is that fiction? I don't know. Huh. So numbers, is that the numbers for your name, or do you have a fascination with numbers? You never told me about the asylum. Mimi says, if it was your student, I'm pretty sure I'll be your fave. Well, come on over. You know English too well now. I would love that, though. That would be cool. And of course, she'd be my favorite. Ron says I was normal to slight over, they claimed. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's like, is that luck of the draw? You said apple and it was, well, duh, you're showing me fruit. Yeah, you kind of wonder if it was kind of like on Scantron tests, how people can do really good on Scantron just because, you're just like. Mimi says, yeah, you'd be my favorite. What is vampirism? I don't, I know as like superficial level. I know the superficial level of it. Um, I would think I got to be careful on what I say. I don't want to get restricted, but I think it has something to do with ceremonious, like ritualistic power, um, where people get the adrenaline off of the control. Yeah, I don't know enough about it. I try not to like the thing is you have to understand it, but you also have to be careful how deep you go down those things. Like if you know something is wrong in your own religion, how much do we have to research it? You know? Um, there you go. I'm getting invited for some Labor Day stuff. Number says when a person believes they are a vampire. Do you believe that they exist? Heavenly says, I ran into a Karen. Today she was yelling at a worker, complaining that her coffee was cold. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people are stressed, and what I would like to ask you guys is, I get it. It's kind of become commonplace to use the word Karen, but there are Karens out there who are probably not too happy with that term. So I get what you're saying, but maybe say somebody who is upset. Just out of respect for the Karens out there, because they're probably sick of it. Same with the Chads and all those kind of things. But yelling at a worker complaining that her coffee was cold. Yeah. And that's kind of like the entitlement. You can just say, hey, can I get a fresh cup or a hot cup? But she asked for ice in her coffee. Are you serious? That's crazy. It's supposed to be cold. Really? Are you serious? You are. Oh my gosh. Well, lol. I know I am already your faith. And I'm really glad you came to the channel. But what was her actual name? I don't know if Heavenly knew it. Um, but yeah, yelling at a coworker. So did her coworker have to make it? I know some restaurants and things like that you can't make your own food. You have to have somebody else make it. Ron says most people who are called Karens are sick of stuff and know things are BS. I have calmed many a Karen in the job I had. So nobody wants to listen to me. Let's not call them Karens. Her name was Sasha. What was her actual name? And because some people still have that name. And but I know what you refer to when you say that. But yeah. What were most of their issues? Entitlement is a problem in society. Also, like instant gratification. People want things right now. That there's no patience, and top that with entitlement and anger issues, anxiety and stress, and also the pressure to be somewhere at a certain time. Be nice if we were all just nice and relaxed and you didn't have to worry about getting back to work on time. Heavenly says, yes, she had to make it again, but it was still iced because she wanted ice in her coffee. That's crazy. Mimi says, LOL, what color glasses am I wearing tomorrow? I don't know. I wore the same one. Did I wear the light pink or these yesterday? What color? I don't know. I want to find my red ones. I like my red ones with the little diamonds. Heavenly says, and some of them are like I had 3, 4 of the same color, but Heavenly said, but she was still mad that it was cold. But she was kicked out. Some people just like to cause problems too. I mean, if you get an iced coffee and you're upset it's cold, like that makes no sense. Unless she just didn't know how to communicate. Sometimes people are like, I just want 1 or 2 ice cubes. That's where communication comes in. So was she necessarily trying to cause a ruckus? Or was she just not able to communicate? And sometimes we don't know what's really up with someone, especially during like a 5-minute conversation at the checkout. But there's a lot of people, they will purposely, you see it at the drive-throughs, people trying to make TikToks like, Heavenly says, and guess what Ron says the coolest thing, you got me by, about the test was knowing somehow they knew something odd about me. Ooh. Yeah, they were investigating you. That's probably kind of exciting. Like, I think I'm extra special. She was blonde, like all the other Karens. Oh, now you're attacking blondes. You're attacking Karens. You're attacking blondes. Is that, yeah, the ones I've seen do tend to be blonde, but not all. So, yeah, I can't really say anything because the ones I have seen are usually, yeah, blondes. But anyways, it is 10:24. So I want to say, guys, thanks so much for joining in. I am going to conserve my energy so I can talk to you guys tomorrow. Probably aim for 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, a little bit late or earlier than I have been. Intense situation, unlock gifts at times. That is true. That is true. And intense situation can also unlock trauma. You get to know somebody's true self when they go under some traumas. You're not saying I'm one. Am I two? No, don't leave. 8 is bedtime. It is 10:25 right now. I have to be really careful because I slept through the first day, the first hour and a half of school, and I just got out of the hospital like a week ago. And yeah, so I'm starting to get dizzy and tired. So I just got to preserve energy. I got 2 more days of school. We do not have school on Friday. What about you guys? Please don't leave. Oh, I'll be back. I promise. Yep, for sure. So sorry to cut it short, guys. Tomorrow, 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere around there, Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to say I love you guys. I cannot crash. I'm the only one paying my bills. So I really do have to, like I said, I was in the hospital a week ago. So definitely I'll be alive so I can come see you tomorrow. But I've been struggling. So lots of love to you guys and hang in there. We got to see each other tonight. All right. Thanks for understanding. I appreciate that. I'm trying to be here for you guys, but I also have to take care of myself. And I will see you tomorrow. Eastern Standard Time, 8 to 9 o'clock. Feel free to type in any topic request you would like. I'm going to do a video or two before I go to bed, but I'm doing good. I will see you tomorrow. All right. Lots of love, guys. See you soon. Thanks again. I hate logging off when you guys are still here, but bedtime. Good night, guys.